Okay, so here I am back again with the second part of Saiyan Space Saga, and I am doing the second video based on a question that I do know will pop up very quickly in response to the first, and that one will be, why do Saiyans need space pods to travel through space if they themselves can survive in space? And I'm going to be perfectly honest, that's a very fair question. That's a good question to ask, and I would ask the same question. Not even going to lie, I would really ask the same question if somebody were to tell me this. So I'm going to explain why Saiyans do actually need the space pods, and why space pods are actually very, very vital for them to survive in space, and not just do that, but also accomplish the missions in the first place. So, with that out of the way, let me get on to the explanation. Saiyans need to use the space pods for three reasons. One, as I stated in the first video, Saiyans can only really go through space for a rather limited amount of time. So, if they're going through the space in that time, then, okay, think about how long it took for Nappa and Vegeta to get to Earth. It took them an entire year. An entire year. Saiyans at best can hold their breath. Saiyans at best can withstand the depths of space for at least. Saiyans at best can withstand the depths of space for at least about close to 4, possibly for 40 to around 120 hours. So close to about 4 to 5 days, really. And that's just the base Saiyan, and even some that are elites. So so 4 to 5 days does not quite measure up to a year. So one of the first reasons that Saiyans need space travel is essentially because the places they need to go to in space are just too far away from planet Vegeta for them to fly. Also, so basically they need space pods to travel extremely long distances on top of being able to, so they can get there faster. Because they can't, then they're just gonna die in space. And even if they could survive longer, think about it. You just went through a very harsh conditions in space. Your body, if you didn't have a key shield, is most likely tired and battered from flying through it for such a long, extensive period of time, and you just came back, and you expended a lot of energy as well, because you can't rest when you're flying through space. You need to constantly be moving, otherwise you'll drift away, possibly into a star or something, or maybe into a colliding comet, and then you get hit with your defenses are down, and we all know what happens when your defenses are down in Dragon Ball Z. So, again, you essentially just need to be alert, active, and awake at all times during space. You can't rest, you can't slow down, and you really just can't do much of anything but just fly continuously. You can't sleep either. I forgot to mention that. You can't sleep, you can't eat, you can't drink anything. So you cannot rest at all. And as we all know, Saiyans need to eat, sleep, and be well fed to be in perfect fighting condition. And if you're flat out tired by the time you land on your planet that you're supposed to invade, then you're not gonna really be good to anyone half dead, are you? Just from flying there. So Saiyans really do actively need. So Saiyans really do need to be able to do that. Need the spaceships. They need the spaceships to rest and recuperate and just chill until they get to the planet. Even if they could withstand those long trips, they would still be mostly tired by the time they got there due to how much energy they had to expand. And this is all on their own energy to fly, too. This is all on their own energy. They don't have, the benefit of getting external energy from other sources. This is all on the internal energy. So it would take it would take a lot of energy for them to fly through space, especially doing long distance trips. Because this isn't just taking the fight to space. This is literally you having an extended trip into a vacuum, an extended trip where you don't want to stay on your path for too long. So that's two reasons. One, the missions are too far apart and they're too in space for far too long to be without some type of safety pod around them. Two, even if they could do it for long periods of time, they would most likely be tired and out of breath by the time they got to their destination, in which case that would pretty much ruin the entire mission, because they're in no fighting condition at all. Then number three, let's just face it, space pods are just way more reliable and way more practical. They're more reliable, more practical, and just are far easier to get in a space pod and to just fly through space for so long. Just think about it. Think about it. Humans can survive in a desert. You can more than walk through a desert, okay? It would be incredibly difficult, and if you're not in perfect physical condition, or you don't have the best hydration, or you're not used to surviving in such brutal climates with such wildlife, and then especially the cold nights and the hot days, you're most likely going to die before you reach your destination due to your lack of survival skills, fitness, and general knowledge of where you're going. And that's exactly how it is with Saiyans. And if you don't exactly know the space area you're going to, if you don't exactly have the necessary requirements, and you don't have the protection, then you're most likely just going to die before you reach your destination, either from exhaustion, lack of knowledge, or lack of endurance. But that's why humans invented machines. We have airplanes to help us fly over the desert faster. We have cars that can help us. We have cars that can help us literally. We have cars that can help us to go through the desert faster as well. So we don't have to worry about any of that. It's convenient. It's convenient. It's not only convenient, but it's also safe, practical, and just more reliable than just flying on our own or just running through the desert. And also it would take most of us way too long to reach our destination, depending on what desert we're going through, because some deserts are bigger than others. And it would take, even if it didn't take us any more than a few days, you would be in pretty bad physical condition unless you want to carry all of your supplies on your back with you, or maybe take like a pack animal or something, but that's besides the point. So reliability is what the space pods' names are. The Saiyans need them to have extended trips, and they are very, very much a necessity in the Saiyan Empire. And that's why Frieza gave them the pods in the first place. I went along with the other Orcosians. So I've just now explained why Saiyans do in fact need the space pods to travel through space. So maybe space. Number one, Saiyans need the space pods because they're in space for long periods of time, sometimes months to even a year, in just constant space travel with no stopping. Two, even if they could fly there on their own energy, like say they made an energy shield and they just flew through space, unless you have a godly amount of key reserves, you're going to be dead tired by the time you get to that planet, if you get to the planet, because as you grow weaker, because as your key concentrates, you start to lose concentration, or you grow weaker, those key shields are going to be more brittle, and they're going to break. And that's not going to be good for anyone if you've been relying on that to survive, especially if you run into an asteroid or something. And then there's three. Yeah, the space pods are just more reliable, more efficient, and just way more available to all Saiyans that wouldn't be able to survive those long stands in space. Some of them can do it more than others, after all. Oh, I should also mention that on average, Saiyan space pods are actually more durable than the Saiyans themselves. For instance, when Vegeta was about to blow up Earth would blow up Earth, we actually see another clip of him in the Majin Buu saga where he remembers blowing up another planet along with its moon. So his attacks can casually destroy large planets. So Vegeta's large planet level plus in the Saiyan saga, he had no worry that his space pod wouldn't be destroyed, meaning that he didn't and of course he cared about living. He fully accounted for getting out of there. He said, "I'll get to my space pod before right as the planet destroyed." So Vegeta had a way out, of course. His space, meaning that the space pods have incredible levels of durability, possibly a large planet level, and most Saiyans will barely moon to planet level. Sad, but most Saiyans want large planet level. Most Saiyans just want elites. So not only are you in a space pod that can last in space longer than you can, possibly for up to 1 to 3 years, not only will it keep you safe and in hibernation so you can rest and recuperate between missions if you have multiple ones, but it'll also keep you safe because it's more than likely that a low class or a mid class warrior would be far less durable than the vehicle they're in. So, and when you're flying through something as harsh as space, why would you not want to have that extra layer of protection? It would be foolish not to, especially if you don't have an unimaginable level of raw power. That's why Broly could have done that, because he's a legendary Super Saiyan. Not every Saiyan is going to be a legendary Super Saiyan, though. No. So that's why Saiyans need the pods. And also I will make another video possibly after this. Another one probably explaining, let's see. What else is there? And if I did miss something, I'll put it in the description below. But this has been going on for a bit long. So thanks for watching, and if I need to, I'll come up with a part 2 about why Saiyans can so survive in space, part 3. If it comes out, I need it. If it doesn't, well, then I obviously didn't need to make part 3. But thanks for watching. Stay faithful, my brawlers, and bye-bye. Oh, okay, let me. This camera is hard to work. Can you see this? Yeah, you can see it. Okay, good.